G'day, it's Pete here, and I'm joined as usual by Nick Jacob, and today we've got a special guest, Mike Ware, to join us for another Triple Dummy. Welcome, everyone.
Hey Pete, how you doing?
Yeah, good. So today we're going to talk about a few different topics, but first and foremost, we wanted to mention that the Bridge World's lost one of its rising stars and really popular figures, which is Justin Lall. His fabulous young player. He was in his mid 30s and unfortunately died to liver disease today. And I consider him a friend, and I've known him for a while. He was an enigmatic, awesome, friendly person, and an amazing bridge player to boot. He'd won World Junior Championships. He'd come second in a World Open Championship. Like the list goes on, but it's really not what he was about. He was just an awesome guy, and everyone I know really enjoyed him. But what are your thoughts, Nick?
Yeah, pretty pretty shocked, I guess. I mean, I think everyone who knew Justin, knew that there was a chance that you would just. I mean, like with every single person, like you can never tell when you're going to see them again or if you're going to see them again. And with Justin, it was always more apparent, I guess, um, because he just lived life to the extreme and uh, he was never afraid to do what he thought was right, and and to express it as well. Like he just said, like as far as JLL goes, it's like I don't know many people in the bridge scene who are like universally respected for both their ability and just for being such a genuine person. Normally it's you know one or the other, or like there'll be someone who's got something bad to say about someone, um, but yeah, JLR was just like on another level. I mean, I've talked about it on here before, but when I wanted to learn more about the game and I just wanted to absorb content, one of the things that I did on the regular was just look at everything that he'd ever written online and just try and absorb everything he had to say because his mind was just so beautiful. Um, the way he expressed things was so accurate and it resonated. And so when I got a chance to play on a team with him, having never met him before Canberra, which was I guess like 2016 or something, 2015 or something, it was it was like surreal because he was this guy that I looked up to, never met him, and then suddenly we just became thick as thieves, um, just because he saw what made me click straight away, and you know, I remember when I was going through, whether I wanted to be a part of Bridge or not, and I was talking to him about it, and he was like, "Yeah, like these guys don't know, they don't know that about the agony of playing Bridge, and um, like when you read about some of the stuff that he said, that that he had some of the things that he had written, and I always got this kind of duality, and like he loved the game so much, he knew the game on such a deep, intimate level, and he was so you know and yet he was so honest about the shortcomings in the way the game is played, the way the game, the way people look after the game. And I think it's you know like I mean, for instance, I don't have a single reason to log into Bridge Winners anymore. The only reason I go into Bridge Winners is to read things that Justin had said, because I'm like, at least there's one person on this website who's actually speaking some truth, Um, and so I just think it's a massive shame, real shame.
Yeah, I just found out this afternoon or this morning, and I was completely shocked. I mean, I didn't know him that well, but I mean, I've been to a few bridge parties with him, and he was just like the friendliest guy you could ever meet, and just so engaged with whatever he was doing at the time, and with you. If he was talking to you, he was totally engaged with what you were doing and what you were saying. and yeah, I mean, just a real presence as well. Like you certainly knew when he was around, and it was good to be around. He was such a great guy. Yeah, and so I'll miss him, even though I didn't really know him that well. But yeah, extremely friendly. Yeah, and just so engaging, funny, clever. Yeah. So no, it's definitely a shame. I was quite shocked when I found out.
Yeah. Just the outpouring from like all the top players that I know. Just everyone's like shell shocked and saddened by listening to him. Like so many people looked up to him, and like because before the forums, he had his own blog where he would talk about everything and anything and go into amazing details. I've got memories of playing tournaments where just listening to him talk about the depth of technical details. He was talking about random false cards that he thought his opponent might play. He was like, "Oh, Sataj, I think it's good enough to false card with the 7 rather than the 2." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But then, like 4 hours later, I worked out exactly like it pieced together. It like clicked for me, and he was just on another level. He was a great guy, and yeah, he'll be missed.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to read out something that my friend Julius said. He was my idol. Not only the best bridge player of them all, but such a good friend and decent human being who was nice to everyone. Probably the greatest guy that Julius has met. And yeah, I feel like the same in bridge. Like he's just, there's a reason he was held in such high esteem by everyone, you know.
Exactly.
So yeah, rest in peace, friend.
Yeah. Anyway, hard to move on from that, but
yeah.
should move on to the next topic, which was on a bit of a lighter note, a fantastic success for New Zealand, which was the Yea brothers, which you two were part of, taking out the win. So, do you want to talk us through who your team was?
Yeah. So we had some non-Kiwis on this New Zealand team. But the most
you don't have to
important
own up to that.
That's all right. The most important thing is that we were designated New Zealand 1 instead of the incumbent New Zealand Open team, which was New Zealand 2. I think the final, standings, reflect on Sophie Ashton's extremely good, seeding. So we on our team, we had resident Kiwis, Justin Mill and James Coots, and another Kiwi, Matthew McManus, with Mikey Ware, and another Kiwi, Gayo Tislavo, and myself. So, so it was a very cosmopolitan kind of team. But yeah, so it was an ambitious format, I'll say. I mean, so Sophie's goal, she was organising the event, goal was to get a wide assortment of teams from all over Asia and Pacific regions, and to run, a meaningful event over the course of a long weekend, Friday through Sunday. And logistically, that's an extremely ambitious task because, had people from India and people from New Zealand, so spanning like 6 hour plus difference in time zone, maybe 8 hour difference in time zone overall. But yet managed to run it really well so that we played full round robin, qualifying into a quarterfinal and then a semi-final and a final. So yeah, it was really, really well run event. Didn't have any complaints at all.
How do you think it went, Mikey?
Yeah, no, I mean, the event itself was good. I need to thank Nick for talking me into playing. The main reason I agreed to play, well, maybe not the main reason, but was playing with Matthew McManus was certainly a highlight. I haven't played with Matthew for a while. And I don't think I've played a match online on BBO don't know, for at least 3 years, if not longer. I practice online. I go in the BBO and do the partnership bidding, but I don't play online. I just don't enjoy it. I didn't play once during New Zealand's lockdown, which was about two months in April and May. I didn't play at all. And my first reaction when Sophie contacted me about playing in this was nah. But Nick made it just too tempting to not play. So, and having said that, it was much better than I remembered playing online.
Yeah.
So that was good. So I might be playing more online. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, one of the good things about it was that we, Juz deserves a lot of credit for organising all this as well as getting like some sessions together where we'd all just join in on Zoom, like half an hour before a session starts or something, and just, have a drink, just chill out, and actually got the feeling of like a team going,
Yeah, that's right. It was good.
Yeah. Whereas, so much of, my online bridge, similar to yours, Mikey, has just been frustrating, like it hasn't been fun, hasn't been real, hasn't been, haven't played well. So it's like, it was really nice, it was nice that, the whole team was engaged. We were, we got better as the event went on as well, which is good. So yeah, went really well.
Did either of you do anything to make yourselves play better for going online and getting focused, or?
I tried to get the kids out of my grill. So that was a big advantage. I'd go lock myself in the study at mum and dad's place, or but yeah, it was.
I found that you could play with music in the background, and I know certainly James Coots did, and I know I did, and I think Matthew did, and so you're just having some music in the background while you're playing helps.
Yeah.
What's your song of choice to get you focused?
Yeah. I put on something fairly quiet in terms of, it wasn't loud heavy metal music.
On other successful notes is the Yay Pairs, which was running while you were having your final, I believe. Was it?
I think it was the last day, yes. The semi-end final, I guess, was probably.
Anyway, the winners of that were actually Sophie Ashton and Dave Wiltshire, taking out
nice.
At least the East-West segment of that. So congrats to them.
Congrats.
Good success all round from Australasian Bridge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Sophie's not only the master organizer, she's also the best match pointer as well. So
pretty impressive. Organize event and win it.
So I thought like the Yay Brothers was like an awesome event for just getting the audience in. I know Vanessa, who's watching now, she was streaming it online all the time and getting great views, and it felt like a nice prestigious event online. It was an Imp Pairs, by the way, clarify. So not the master match pointer, but master Imp winner. But it was nice to have like a little prestigious event going on. I felt like that's been lacking since all the tournaments have been stopped. And another cool thing that I want to get your opinion on was the streaming of it. So any kibitzers were on a half an hour delay. So I thought this was actually really, really good, because in my mindset, one of the frustrating things I've had at tournaments is I've finished and I'm waiting for my teammates, or I'm about to leave, and everyone goes, "Oh, well done, good job," and I'm like, "Oh, well, the suspense is now ruined." But if they have to wait half an hour before they can congratulate me, I can actually score up with my team, have a awesome time, see how it goes. Did you notice anything like that half an hour period after you finished and finding out how your team won? Did you?
I didn't really watch too much of it. I just in general, I don't try and I try not to watch my teammates.
Yes, that's right. It's far too nerve-wracking.
Yeah. You just get too emotionally invested, and it's no good. And you got to relax as well when you're not playing, I think. But yeah, I had Ella watching a lot of the stream. I guess Mariana was watching sometimes as well and stuff. No, all right. Yeah. Was Laura watching?
Yeah, Laura watched a little bit.
Okay, that's all right. So, there was one match that I was kind of nervous about. Like I'd done a few bad things, and it must have been a two session thing. I can't remember when it was exactly, but I was a bit nervous about it, and Ella knew that I was nervous about it. And anyway, we scored up and won by 30 or something. And I was like, sweet, it's no problem. But Ella was like still watching and didn't really know how it was going. I was like, that's just let that simmer for a while.
I'll tell you one good thing about it being delayed, the kibitzers, was that in the Gold Coast, I got congratulated for winning, like a lot. Like, I don't know, 8 to 10 people congratulated me on winning the Gold Coast with 3 hands to go.
We did though, right? Like,
with 3 hands to go, sure.
Is there a punchline to this that I'm not aware
of? That's definitely a good reason to have it delayed.
Yeah.
So Moddy said there have been a few prestigious events in the US or Europe, but it's great to have one in this. Yeah. So like for me, I haven't been able to keep track of any of the US or European events because it's way too hard to actually watch from this time zone. But also for me, I like watching some familiar names or people I really know and battling it out, and I thought that was really good.
Yeah, it was really cool. I think in terms of playing it, there were probably like not too many more things that need to be done. I mean, I think in terms of running a 3-day event, it was like great. I mean, if you wanted to run a longer event, then obviously you could have longer matches, which would be an advantage as well. I think that there's more room for. I mean, Pete and I have talked about this on Triple Dummy before, but I think there's more room for increased security in online bridge. Things like playing on webcam and having your screen be recorded. Like those are both kind of 2 like relatively easy things to do in this day and age. And it's like doesn't have to be broadcast, it just has to go into the archive, and the directors can have a look if they need to, and because it was enjoyable playing this event because there was some money up for grabs and stuff, but actually there was occasionally a little bit dicey tempo in some matches of the round robin, but I mean in the later stages there was nothing at all that was even remotely suspicious, which is very unusual for online bridge. Thought people's explanations were really good. People were really understanding about time use and stuff. It was cool. It was really pleasant to play.
Yep, here.
So I was also wondering if you're going to ask Mr. Yay to send out a giant check so that you've got a big winner's check.
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be really good. Yeah, let me give you James Coots's address.
I always felt like whenever you go to a Yay Bros and you see the winners on stage with the massive check, I'm like, one time in my life, I don't care how much money is on it, but I want the big check. Just like,
yeah, that would be cool.
Here's your $1 giant check, cost more than the actual prize money, but
yeah.
Does anyone have an opinion about playing the same hands in each match? Security is an issue.
Yeah.
Bridge-wise, it's great.
Yeah.
Opinion about the safe what?
Playing the same hand as different match.
Right.
But just so you're all playing the same hands for comparison's sake, but
I think it'd be better to play the same hands. I always think it's better. I mean, you might, if if a set is swinging at one table and in one match and like really boring in another match, it's like kind of feels like it, like removes a little bit of something from it.
And there's the social side as well. That after the match is finished, what did you do on this board? What did you do on this board?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone played the same hands, right? And
for sure.
Talk about how you played it or what the opponents did or whatever, right? And it's just, I find that much more enjoyable.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. How do you reckon that should be done if online?
Is there a way to do it in BBO?
I guess you could just ban kibitzers. You can load hands up into BBO so everyone can play the same hand.
Yeah, because that's what they do for the Gold Coast, right? I mean, they have to load the hand somehow.
Yeah.
All of your grounds. So you should be able to do it.
You can do that. Think so it's mainly just the preventing people being able to see the same hands. Yeah. Like if you played it and then 4 hours later someone else has played it, if they could kibitz you, then there's definitely.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, I think they'd have to all be played simultaneously.
Oh, you have to play them at the same time, yes.
Yeah, but I think as long as they're played at the same time, it's okay. And I think it would be preferable. But yeah, that does mean that you do need to implement just about every security measure you can. And I think not having... So, like, I think the way this worked with no kibitzers except for a few designated in order to do a delayed Twitch stream is perfect. It's so good, and I think that is a really, really good avenue forward for Bridge for publicizing it and getting people interested and doing it in a safe way. So yeah, I'd be keen to keep that going as much as possible.
Because you get, unfortunately, in this day and times, you get the feeling we might need online Bridge more than we used to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to imagine playing, or at least if there is a world championship sometime soon. Certainly, not every country is going to be playing it. I mean, New Zealand and Australia probably aren't going to be, right? I mean, I can't really imagine, New Zealand being happy to send people off to go, play in some Bridge World Championships, and then these same people having to pay when they come home to self-isolate for 2 weeks or whatever. It's
right.
Like people aren't going to be excited about that.
Is the New Zealand national still planning to run?
Yes, they actually just sent an email today giving an update that as long as New Zealand's not in level 2 or 3 or 4, then yes, they're going to run it. Enough teams have entered already for it to be sufficiently viable that they're just going to run it.
Yep. Okay.
Which is good on them, right? Like,
yeah.
It will be nice to play Bridge amongst people.
Yeah.
As long as it's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we look at this hand that Nick you've sent through?
Yep.
You want to email it to Mikey just so that he can see it?
I think Mikey has seen it. I think it might have been the one that was written up.
It was written up on New Zealand Bridge website.
Yeah, maybe a bit boring going to the same hand, but I think it's a fascinating hand anyway.
Well, what I liked in the New Zealand article was how you mentioned how all the misplays you made on the hand.
I didn't read the write-up, so I guess I have to double check that.
They quoted you verbatim on those.
Did they? Oh, right.
So I'm actually really excited for this because I reckon I watched 10 minutes of this hand. And then I had to walk away.
Out of the 25.
Yeah. It did take a very long time.
And I had to walk away, and I'm like, it's probably not going to make it. And
well, it was
so I'm not sure how it ends. So this will be a great surprise for him. Well, I know how you scored, but before we do, it's also worth noting other successes, which were Australia 2 came 4th. They made the semi-finals, and that was Andy Braithwaite, Arjuna Delavera, Renee Cooper, Ben Thompson, Matt Malumphy, and Ian Thompson. Ron Klinger. And another fantastic result. Fortunately, they didn't win the third place playoff. Not as successful as New Zealand. Australia's getting used to that, but yeah, worth a mention. A great result there.
Yeah. We played them in the semi-final. It was pleasant match as always. So yeah, I think they said they sent an email to James, our captain, about how one of their players was AWOL, so they had to change their lineup. I can only assume it was Andy Braithwaite because that's pretty.
Well, he's certainly always prime suspect to be the one who's AWOL.
Yeah. Given that he wasn't playing, so yeah, I'm just going to put it out there that it was all Andy's fault. They would have beaten us and won the whole yay
if he hadn't played.
Exactly.
So onto this hand. So for anyone that's just listening but can't see, there's a hand where Nick had a 4-3-2-4 11 count. King fourth, ace third, queen doubleton, queen fourth. And you opened one club. The next opponent bid a diamond. And your partner bid a heart, which was a transfer to spades. And went past, you jumped to two spades, which just showed 4 card minimum 11 to 14.
Yep.
And your partner bid 4 spades over that. And you get the Queen of Hearts lead, and your partner's hand was Ace Queen Jack 5th spade, Jack 4th heart, so the heart lead's pretty interesting and fairly revealing. You got Ace 3rd diamond and a singleton king of clubs. So just a quick look on this hand as declarer, you got a club loser, you got 2 heart losers, and you got a diamond loser, and it looks like you got these sort of 4 unavoidable losers, which aren't obvious to how to get rid of. Do you want to walk us through the hand?
Yeah. So rather than looking at too much about the play possibilities, I think the best place to start is just trying to work out some inferences from the lead, from the auction, and so on. So they're playing standard leads. So Queen of Hearts looks to be short. It could be exactly King Queen Doubleton, but if it's King Queen Doubleton now, it'll still be King Queen Doubleton later. And so if I'm assuming that it's just a Queen Doubleton, in which case I would have 2 heart losers, then I'm giving the guy on my right King 10, King to 4, or King if it's a Doubleton, and King to 5 if it's a singleton. So he hasn't raised diamonds, so diamonds are certainly 6-2, and he could have doubled a heart as well, which he would have done if he had the ace of clubs as well, I think. So I'm sort of, and also if he had the ace of clubs and didn't double, this guy on the left would quite likely have overcalled 2 diamonds, because overcalling 2 diamonds over 1 club is such a great thing to do. He's got good intermediates, 6 card suit. I thought it was extremely likely the ace of clubs is on my left.
There is the possibility that they've just a really weak hand. Like if they just have the king of hearts and 3 diamonds, they might not raise.
They might not raise. They might not. But I thought it would be. I still felt like it was pretty high. There was a pretty high chance that they would raise. I mean, they wouldn't have had an honor in diamonds, so I can sort of understand them not raising. But it just seemed like these guys. It was in the final. The team Dampier Sugar Mills, like the good Indian players, very aggressive. I just felt like it was, very bankable inference that the guy was that the diamonds were 6-2.
Yep.
So with all that in mind, I still have, obviously have to deal with this club loser, diamond loser, 2 heart losers, and there are sort of in play possibilities. Like when I was looking at this hand originally I was thinking, okay, so I'm going to try to end play lefty with the third round of diamonds. That was my thinking at the start. So okay, he's let a singled in, win the ace, draw some trumps, king of clubs. He'll have to play another club. I'll be able to rough it, let a diamond to the queen, losing. But I didn't really run it through very clearly, like the exact ordering I was going to do everything. But I felt like, okay, I'm going to exit with, ace of diamonds, diamond, pitching a heart. He'll be in. He'll only have diamonds left, and he'll have to play another one, allowing me to rough and dummy and throw my last losing heart from hand. Yeah. But actually, there were, the end player should have been targeting was actually throwing my small diamond away from the ace third, coming down to ace X, and then once clubs were eliminated, or at least partially eliminated, exiting with ace and another diamond to the queen, and that would force the rough to discard a round earlier. The other advantage of that is that I could actually duck a round of hearts, generating an extra loser for myself. So if I duck this round of hearts, even if he doesn't have any more hearts, there's nothing he can really do to damage me. Had he had something like 2, 1, 6, 4, I'd have expected him to return a trump, which I can win and dummy, play the king of clubs. He wins, plays another trump, which I win in hand, go queen of clubs, pitching the diamond, club rough, heart to the ace, club rough, ace of diamonds, diamond. So there were lots of ways to make this. So naturally, I chose to win the ace of hearts at trick one.
Yeah. So you think ducking's better?
Ducking is much better. Yeah. It's definitely better. Yeah. As long as I can bank those inferences, then yeah, ducking is superior because I can make on a variety of shapes. I can make when the guy on the left is 3-1-6-3. In some circumstances, he has to have good clubs, but I can make when he is 2-1-6-4, 2-2-6-3, 1-2-6-4. So we'll have a look at the hand the way it should have gone afterwards. But yeah, the way it went was interesting as well.
Won the ace.
Yep.
Started drawing trumps.
Yep, which was a mistake. But anyway, that was all right. So I'd done a few mistakes already. Then exited the king of clubs.
So you only drew 2 rounds of trumps.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, because to get the rough and discard to generate an extra trick, I can't draw an extra round of trumps because I'd need to rough 2 clubs plus a diamond or something in dummy. So I was only ever going to really be able to draw 2 trumps. So
they won the ace and came out the 10 of hearts.
Yep, which was good news for me because the hearts were blocked. So that was fortunate. But I was still in kind of bad shape. So ducked that one. And he didn't have anything. He obviously couldn't play a diamond, so he had to go back to clubs to help me eliminate that suit. But obviously I burnt through my entries as well, so I was in, a bit of a precarious spot. But I could get something out of these club spots, as weird as it was. So he could have returned the 10 of clubs, but he returned a low club. So then I could throw a heart away from dummy. And righty could have played the 9 rather than the jack because the 9 was just safe. I'm almost certainly not discarding a heart from when I started with 10 4th of club or something. So I must have the queen of clubs. If I've got the queen and 10 of clubs, doesn't matter whether he plays the jack or the 9. Yeah,
so this is sort of the point that I got up to and listening to the commentary at the time. So first of all, I've got a good count on your hand by this stage. Like you've shown up with king of spades, ace of hearts.
Yeah, exactly. So I must have some other stuff.
You pretty much have to have those points. So I think the 9 of clubs would be a really good play. That was missed. One thing to note was these last 2 tricks were about 10 minutes between.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to see, like, you're obviously entitled to take time. And it wasn't just you. Your left-hand opponent took about half the time, and then you took about half the time.
I think I took more, but yeah, he definitely took a little bit of time as well. But but yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Yeah, when you go through a board and it's like, yeah, just click through, yeah, just did this and this. But yeah, like this was like a key moment. And I thought about it for so long because I could see that this club in play was a possibility, but I didn't want to resign myself to it because I knew I needed I needed the lucky club layout and a missed defense.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to see if there was any better way to do it, but I couldn't come up with anything. And so at some point I wrote in chat, I was like, oh, sorry. And the guy on my left said, for what?
Yeah.
And, later, when I made it, it later transpired that, the people watching on V8 Mama's stream said, oh yeah, you should have just been like, for that, for what I'm about to do to you, but no, I wasn't. The only person I thought I was going to be apologising to was my partner for butchering this contract. But anyway, so yeah, the guy did play the Jack of Clubs. So I won the Queen and played the 7 of Clubs out because I didn't want him to rise at the 10. And again, he could have played the 10, but he didn't. So I could rough that one and then cross back to my hand, drawing the last trump, and lead. Again, he could have thrown.
Yeah. That was his final opportunity.
That was his final opportunity. He could have done it then, but he didn't. He could have got rid of that club, and now I could play the 8 of Clubs, tucking him in with the 10.
So, is it ever wrong to throw the 10 of Clubs, do you reckon?
No.
So,
yeah, I just got lucky. I got lucky at the end.
Yeah. Like, I definitely think it's easier for his partner to have put the 9 in. Mm-hmm. Like, I think there's just this instinctive thing of my 10 of Clubs is a winner. I don't want to throw my winner away, and it's like this hurdle that you have to get past. Whereas, like, that's not how you should be thinking about it, but just mentally.
No, that's right. Because I mean, he could actually see he had a high club and lots of diamonds, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like it was fairly easy to see it was coming.
Yeah.
There was a hand I played in the day one of the qualifying against Dave Wiltshire, and I was in 3-0 and I squeezed him. And rather than take 10 minutes and then decide he was squeezed and eventually throw a card, and then now I know which suit he's throwing and I can keep doing it. He just threw all his clubs at the speed of light.
Yeah.
All right. As I was playing them, and then so quickly, in fact, that I suddenly thought my squeeze hadn't worked.
Yeah.
Because he was in no pain whatsoever.
Yeah, that is good.
And so I now tanked quite some time while I recounted every single club.
Yeah, it is good. It's really good. It's a nice little squeeze defense. Just before you get squeezed, just actually set up that little card that they might not remember as good.
Yeah. So the amount of times that you can get out of squeezes just by not showing the pain, by just being in tempo. Yep. Okay, my king's singleton now, but who cares?
Yeah.
And they just don't know. Or Anyway, and then you ended up playing on with the 10 of Clubs. I'll just round out the play for the people. Came out the King of Diamonds and 10 tricks. Awesome.
So,
how do you think it should be played?
Yeah, so it's really interesting hand. It requires. So first of all, we'll have a look at how they played it at the other table, because it's actually called from either hand on any lead, which is like it's just a tightrope hand where you have to follow it all the way through. So the declarer at the other table was already at a disadvantage. Obviously, getting the diamond lead through the queen at trip 1. Yeah. He elected to duck, which was wrong on the layout, but looks okay on general principle.
All right. Give me a sec because I have to fudge this for the. So
yes. Okay, so make it that North led the Jack of Diamonds and it was ducked all round. That's the way to do it, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And so now North continue with the King of Diamonds to the Ace.
Yep.
And the King of Clubs was played. So he's doing better than me already. He's working on eliminating the stuff without blowing his trump entries. Fortunately, it's only the ending that matters. But So king of clubs went round to the ace,
Ace.
and the third diamond was played with a club. No, not club. Sorry, a heart pitch from south, roughed in west. The queen of clubs cashed for a heart discard, and a club roughed with the 9, I think it was, which was good. Had to do with the 9. And now the declarer made it like just the tiniest error. It doesn't deserve to be classified as an error, but he played ace and queen of spades. Sorry, no. He played ace of spades, spade to the king. And so now he couldn't run an in play anymore because South had the 10 of spades, which was going to come into the equation via a trump promotion. So after the king of spades held, the last club was roughed. And the ace of hearts and a heart.
Get your beautiful rough and discard.
Yep. But unfortunately, the only top spade you have is in the east hand.
So they could have made it if they knew the layout and led a low spade to the ace.
Exactly. And so it has to be that specifically. It can't be ace and queen of spades followed by a heart to the ace and a club, because North on the queen of spades can throw away the 10 of hearts. And if North does that, then there's no in play. If declarer tries to duck the first round of hearts, then North can win and play the fourth club, which hasn't been eliminated yet.
Yeah.
So it has to be exactly, top spade and then a spade to the 8. Because now if North throws the blocking heart away, declarer can rough the club because they're in dummy in west, and then duck the first heart, and they'll be fine.
Too easy. How'd they miss that?
It's good. Butcher.
Is there a case to play a spade to the 8 in real life?
When
you don't know the hands?
I don't think so. I mean, Justin did open 2 diamonds. So if you think that he's more likely to open 2 diamonds with a shortage rather than 2 diamonds with, like a 2-2-6-3 or something.
Anyone betting on what Justin holds for preempt, I'm sure will go broke.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
So, diamonds are 6, and you need North to have a doubleton, or does it need to be North? You kind of need North to have a doubleton heart because I don't think South can. So then the question is, do you think clubs are 4-4 or are they 5-3? Sort of the question.
If clubs are 5-3, you actually don't need to rough the 4th club anyway. So it's like, ace of spades, spade to the king, ace of hearts, heart will do the job. So
yeah, but you still don't want to lose to the 10 of spades doubleton.
No. But yeah, I mean that's yeah. So the guy's line would have been fine on that layout. Singleton hearts in North. I don't know if Singleton heart is really a strong possibility. It looks extremely natural to just shift to the heart, doesn't it? When you win the Jack of Diamonds at trick 1. Feels more likely that North is a doubleton heart rather than a singleton. So I guess it does sort of depend how much you weigh 2-2-6-3 versus 1-2-6-4.
So, and then there's also, you're also ignoring South having doubleton 10. So it's strictly North having 10 doubleton. I'm trying real hard to come up with a good case.
Yeah, I think it's pretty tough. I think it's
Like-
it's very cool though. So maybe that's a good reason to do
Yeah,
it.
you get yourself into like
Yeah,
best
get
played
enough-
hand kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, so this was actually, so if we go all the way back to what I should have done, like the line that this declarer followed was very similar to the one that I should have followed. Obviously very different lead, but the Queen of Hearts lead still has its challenges. So
Queen, and you reckon it should get ducked?
Yep, that's good on a variety of shapes. Here it's pretty normal to continue with a heart, which I win with the ace.
Maybe
Now I have
jack. Does it matter?
that doesn't matter. Don't think it matters. Normally just leave the jack there, I think. But then after winning the ace, draw exactly one round of trumps by playing like a spade to the ace, and then come out with the king of clubs. So if the guy on the left can win the ace of clubs...
So why exactly 1? Why not 0? Why not 2?
So 1, the reason you play 1 is to strip his exit cards when he is 1, 2, 6, 4. So otherwise he could return a trump, and even though it finesses the 10, it doesn't give you... It puts you basically in the position that the declarer was in at the other table, where eventually this 10 of spades kind of gets promoted. So because it's not really, you don't need an extra trump entry, you need North to help you by giving you a club entry. And if North does have another spade, so if North has 2, 2, 6, 3, then it's also fine, because you only need to ruff one club, you don't need to ruff both clubs. So if he has another spade to continue, you win in hand, go queen of clubs, pitching a diamond, club ruff, ace of diamonds, diamond out, and now he'll be in played, even though the clubs haven't been eliminated. And if he is 3, 2, 6, 2, nothing was going to work anyway, so there's no point worrying about that. Maybe you could do something with 3, 2, 6, 2 on a misdefense, but 3, 1, 6, 3, you're probably better to... you're certainly better to win the ace of hearts at trick 1, but it's a smaller target, and you might still survive 3, 1, 6, 3 if he's got like ace, jack, 10 tighter clubs. Then you can throw him in on the third round of clubs. So
after your ace of clubs?
Yep. After the ace of clubs, he would have to continue a club, because he doesn't have any more spades. So I would chuck a diamond away from table, win the queen.
Do you want them to play the jack or the 9?
Doesn't matter. They can play, just not the small one. They can play the 9. It's fine. So you win the queen, then you play a club, and you ruff that with the 9. And now you take your spade finesse. So you play your spade to the 8, and you can it's not guaranteed, but I think that this is a lot likelier to work, because the guy would very likely continue a second spade, I think, even from 10x.
Because they've played clubs.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like spade finesse in this position is a lot more indicated. So you take your spade hook, ruff the last club, now you go your ace of diamonds, diamond for the ruff and discard.
What are your thoughts, Mikey? Do you reckon this is the best line?
Yeah, and I do think you should cash exactly one spade. And it's partly to do with the fact, because what do they do when they win the ace of clubs? Because it will be very tempting for them to play a spade if they have a second one.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and so the fact they don't now makes your spade finesse that you're going to take later a much better percentage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's funny how when we discussed it just before, we were saying we'd like to build a case for it, but we couldn't.
Yeah.
Whereas now we've actually built a case and you should.
Yeah, exactly.
Just by cashing that one round of spades, really.
Yeah. It's funny how it works out like that.
And how long after the hand did you realise you should have finessed the 9, the 10?
Well, I mean, so for me, like I wasn't even in this position, so
Yeah,
like
but like when you reanalyzed it and then
yeah. So what I was trying to work out, because at the time I thought that there were two clear paths. It was either duck the heart or win the heart, and neither of them incorporated each other. And it was only after looking through all these times where I thought you had to win the heart, and it was actually like, oh, ducking the heart is actually fine, or maybe it's not 100%, but you've still got outs, you know. Whereas winning the hard ace immediately, often you're just dead. You know, he's just got Queen 9 doubled on a Queen 8. Though, you know, it was the fact that he had Queen 10 doubled on exactly that.
But I know why you made that mistake, right? Is that not many people lead from Queen.
No, yeah,
right. It's an unusual lead, right? Because often you'll make that Queen of Hearts. You're preempted in diamonds, possibly. Been overcalled a diamond.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for Declarer to play for the Queen of Hearts if he's on a guess for the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty unusual lead, right? So I can see why you thought it was a singleton, right? Like that's pretty normal.
Yeah. No, that's a good
point. That said, it's still right back.
Yeah. Which is it's a really cool hand. Like there's just the fact that you think that there's a strong inference for this, but actually you're still safe by ducking. And probably the most cool thing I thought was that the whole hand I was like trying to engineer an in-play in diamonds, and it was like, oh, all right, we'll go for the in-play in clubs instead. So it was like just a bit of a Hail Mary, but so I was lucky that it worked. But yeah, it was. I don't mind sort of screwing up that kind of, and like even though we won 12 imps or whatever, like I feel like it was a screw up because like the early play, like I made several kind of big errors, and it was like, it was kind of lucky that we were playing it from the protected Queen of Diamonds side rather than the other side. Whereas the other side, the other declarer played extremely well, up until the very end, where we still don't know if he did anything wrong. So it was a little bit of luck, but it was just a fascinating hand, I thought.
Yeah. So I just wanted to touch on the point that ducking it or winning it because you think it's a singleton. I think lots of people just have, like, in general, have a thought process of, I think that they've led a singleton. And then they just immediately go to, okay, I got to win my ace and do stuff. I don't want to get trumped or something. And I just wanted to clarify for people out there, the thought process should be, I think they've got a singleton. And then it's, even if I duck it, is that bad? You don't want to stop the thought process.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they've got a singleton.
Yeah, and because Nick said right at the very beginning that what he actually wanted to do was look at the inferences from the bidding and the lead about what was the guy's shape.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like whether he was 3-1-6-3 or 2-1-6-4, all those things, right? You don't stop analyzing, it's a singleton.
Yeah.
Right? You keep going.
Yeah, exactly. That's like that Bobby Fischer quote, you've found a good line, now look for a better one. Or something.
We got another question from the audience, which is, are you sculling wine?
It looks like it, hey? No, I'm not. This is we do have a bunch of wine bottle looking things, but no, it's actually, I think it started life as like a San Pellegrino water vessel. So
right.
Well, on that note, we might wrap it up. Thanks, Mike, for joining us.
Yeah, cheers, Mike.
No, good.
And thanks, everyone, for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Hey, guys.